Alright, so in this series we are going to be watching almost every single video in a playlist that I've been working on for about 14 or 17 years. I just recorded an episode. I was reacting to a video from Infinite Waters. If you haven't subscribed to Ralph Smart, then go subscribe to Infinite Waters Diving Deep. I'll certainly cover those again, but just so there's something fresh and new for the first episode, let's just go ahead and start with this video. So again, this is a playlist that I've been working on for about 14 to 17 years now, and it has over 1,000 videos in it. Some episodes of this series we will be covering multiple videos in one video depending on the length of said videos, but there will also be ones where I just react to one video and we'll go from there. But regardless, let's go ahead and get right into it. This is How Is Your Phone Changing You from ASAPScience.
Of the 7 billion people on Earth, roughly 6 billion own a cell phone, which is pretty shocking given that only 4.5 billion have access to a working toilet. So how are these popular gadgets changing your body and brain?
Are those statistics legit? Like, is that true? Can anybody verify that for me?
If you're looking down at your phone right now, your spine angle is equivalent to that of an 8-year-old child sitting.
Hey. Don't diss me for having scoliosis. I was born with it and I can't help it, okay?
On your neck, which is fairly significant considering people spend an average of 4.7 hours a day looking at their phone. This, combined with the length of time spent in front of computers,
I probably spend even more time than that on my phone. I mean, before my laptop broke, I was certainly on my laptop just as much. The only difference is the fact that I also love to be outside in nature. I love going for long walks, I love adventuring around, I love being active, I love being productive. I mean, ever since I was a kid, the two main things that, like, I do in, like, my favorite part of life is consuming and producing art and entertainment. So I don't really think that it is that part about technology is necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, just like anything, people can absolutely abuse it, and it can get to the point to where it is super unhealthy for them. It kind of reminds me of like the conversation amongst like potheads, right? Where like you have like potheads and people who don't smoke, and it's like, oh well, everybody should smoke weed, it's this medicine and everybody should smoke. And then you have people who are like, no, nobody should smoke weed, it's the devil's lettuce, da, right? I think that both perspectives are too extreme to be the truth. I think it is somewhere in the middle, because you can be a pothead that does nothing but eats junk food and watches TV all day, or you could be a productive pothead like Snoop Dogg. You know, these things affect everybody differently, and I think that the same extends out to everything else, including technology and phones and other devices. Because as someone who is extremely productive, I mean, over the past 17 years I've established a production company and brand with over 40 different series posted to over 20 different websites, including YouTube, Facebook, BitChute, and Rumble. And I can say without shadow of a doubt that these sort of things, whether it's THC or a phone or a laptop or movies or whatever else, that these things don't prevent me from being the best possible version of myself in every given point in time, because I have that balance. I'm not using these sort of things as escapism, whether it is physical, like whether it's chemical drugs like THC or more technological drugs like phones. I don't think that the problem is within those things. I think that the problem is how somebody uses those things. But before I go on a whole lecture here, let's just go ahead and continue with the video.
Has led to an increase in the prevalence of myopia or nearsightedness in North America. In the 1970s, about 1/4 of the population had myopia, where today nearly half do. And in some parts of Asia, 80 to 90% of the population is now nearsighted. And it can be hard to put your phone down. Take for example the game Candy Crush. As you play the game, you achieve small goals, causing your brain to be rewarded with little.
My grandmother was addicted to that game. I remember whenever it first came out, I refused to play it because I saw it for exactly what it was. it is mathematically designed to be as addictive as possible and to keep you consuming this mindless piece of brain rot 24/7. I guess that's a topic for another time, because that's a whole nother rant. But yeah, I am very familiar with this game.
Bursts of dopamine, and eventually you're rewarded in the game with new content. This novelty also gives little bursts of dopamine and together create what is known as a compulsion loop, which just happens to be the same loop responsible for the behaviors associated with nicotine or cocaine. Our brains are hardwired to make us novelty seeking, and this is why apps on our phones are designed to constantly provide us with new content, making them hard to put down. As a result, 93% of young people aged 18 to 29 report using their smartphone as a tool to avoid boredom, as opposed to other activities like reading a book or engaging with people around them. This has created...
Now, I wouldn't say that it is a bad thing to, like, okay, here's my stance on it. I don't think that escapism is necessarily a bad thing either. Even despite everything that I've said, I have nothing against it. Now, once that starts to become your whole life and your lifestyle and whatnot, I mean, it can certainly become a problem. But I think that right there is the start of a trap that is going to make things worse long term for the individual. So now you have people who are like, because like I remember whenever I was a kid, I mean, I played outside, I played with my friends, I used my imagination, I explored nature. So instead of like a child actually like being a child, now it's just like they have a device in their hands because parents are being too like these aren't even parents anymore. You know, it's like they're not really bonding with their children. They're not really taking care of their children. They're not like, they may be giving them like the physical stuff that they need, but there's no real emotional or spiritual connection there to your own child. What a wasted opportunity. If you're going to have a child, take care of your child. Don't have a child just to raise them on a device. You're now so disconnected from your child that after so many years there's no going back. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't think that the problem is that I don't think that escapism is the problem. I think that an unhealthy addiction to escapism is the problem, personally.
A new term, nomophobia, the fear or anxiety of being without your phone. We also see a change in brain patterns. Alpha rhythms are commonly associated with wakeful relaxation, like when your mind wanders off, whereas gamma waves are associated with conscious attentiveness. And experiments have shown that when a cell phone is transmitting, say during a phone call, the power of these alpha waves is significantly boosted, meaning phone transmissions can literally change the way your brain functions. Your smartphone can also disrupt your...
Yeah, and I mean, that's really any drug, whether it is a chemical drug or an electronic drug. Even television does that. Like, everything that you invest so much time, effort, energy, and attention to, your brain's, like it can physically rewire your brain on a chemical level. And that is something that people need to be made aware of. Like, people need to stay aware of that fact. Like what you consume is what you become. On so many different levels, and people do not take that seriously enough.
Sleep. The screen emits a blue light which has been shown to alter our circadian rhythms, diminishing the time spent in deep sleep, which is linked to the development of diabetes, cancer, and obesity. Studies have shown that people who read on their smartphone at night have a harder time falling asleep and produce less melatonin, a hormone responsible for the regulation of sleep-wake cycle.
I personally don't mind falling asleep to something on my phone at all, whether it's YouTube videos or music. But at the same time, I also don't mind just going to sleep and, I don't know, just laying there in the darkness, nothing on, maybe the fans or something, with that nice breeze sound and everything, and the fans and the propellers and whatnot. My fan lovers know what's up. But yeah, I mean, I just really don't mind it either way. It does. And I think that if it does matter to someone, then you need to take a really strong look with your, at your relationship with technology, because it's probably not healthy.
Harvard Medical School advises the last 2 to 3 hours before bed be technology free, so pick up a book before bed instead. Of course, smartphones also completely change our ability to access.
I don't entirely disagree with that. I prefer audiobooks over reading a book, but that doesn't mean that I don't know the beauty and magic of actually reading a book. Because whenever I do read a book, and it's a good book, it's a magical experience, alright. I'm very picky whenever it comes to books, though.
Information, most notably in poor and minority populations. 7% of Americans are entirely dependent on smartphones for their access.
And also, I guess just since we're on the topic of it, I have nothing against audiobooks, but you'll never be able to get the same experience out of a book that you will just by reading it yourself versus listening to it as an audiobook. Audiobooks are great too, especially whenever people actually put like a lot of time and care and like sound design with like music and sound effects and stuff into it. You know what I mean? It can be an adventure of its own, but it's just not the same. So I think that kind of balancing those two things is very important if you are a literacy enthusiast like myself, or a literature enthusiast like myself.
The internet. A 2014 study found that the majority of smartphone owners use their phone for online banking, to look up medical information, and searching for jobs. So while phones are in no way exclusively bad and have been part of a positive change in the world, there's no denying that they are changing us. But many successful people have now decided to take smartphone vacations in order to increase productivity. In our new ASAP Thought video, we break down the top 6 reasons you should take a smartphone vacation and how it could benefit your life right now. And subscribe for more weekly science.
Alright, well that about sums up this video. Go subscribe to ASAPScience. I'm a fan of the videos that they produce. I used to watch them quite a bit as I think as a teenager or as an early adult. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Maybe y'all learned something, maybe y'all are entertained by it, maybe you're just listening to it in the background, maybe you're an infinite, who knows. But I do appreciate you all for being here nonetheless, and again, go subscribe to ASAPScience if you haven't already. This will be the official first episode of Valentine Reactions 2025. Since my laptop, my laptop's broken. If y'all want to invest in helping me to, or if y'all want to invest in Valentine Productions at all, just to help me rebuild my studio, I don't really have one anymore, especially since my fucking laptop completely broke. But nonetheless, we can talk about that another time. Go check out my second channel to hear more about all that if you're interested in helping to rebuild Valentine Productions. Nonetheless, I do appreciate you all for being here. In the next episode, we're going to be watching more of the playlist that I created over the last 14 to 17 years. We have about 1,000 videos in total. Now, we are going to be skipping some here and there, especially if they're like live streams or something. But nonetheless, I appreciate you all for being here. Stay tuned subscribe for episode 2. Tune in, and I hope to see you all in the next one.